Okay, hello everybody, Christian here, back again. I want to talk in this video today about a very important point that distinguishes what we do here at the Nix Institute, my new Nix Institute, but also the Pivot Protocol, all of the materials that I release for the public, for people who need to solve their own chronic condition, especially related to digestion, since that's my specialty. The difference between a medical system, professional medicine, and the health and wellness sort of the fad fitness health and wellness diet industry. The distinction is important because it's the difference between, in some cases, making yourself much, much worse, but certainly running around in circles and not really knowing what's going to help you versus knowing exactly what's going to fix your condition. And that's what professional medicine is really designed to do. So if you look at a lot of the sort of fad health and wellness type of, whether it's marketing or whatever product, right, whatever they're focused on, there's nothing to distinguish what that product or what that solution is actually for. And there's a reason for that, because it's the fad fitness health and wellness industry is really based on get as much good nutrition as you can, exercise as often as you can, think positive thoughts, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like you hear all of that and you go, well, duh, duh. If I had tons of money and way more time than I knew what to do with, and always too, the health and wellness people, they're all 25, 27, 28 years old, 30 years old. It's not based on any problem, unless it's a pre-existing one, but usually, right, these are people who are just super into health and wellness. That's very different that's like saying that all nutrition is the solution to everything and you'll stay young and beautiful and sexy and robust for 50 centuries and you'll never have a problem. But that's not how life goes. And so the fad fitness health and wellness people are operating on a different set of assumptions. And if you have the luxury to worry about just buying supplements and all the rest, well, good for you, but you can get yourself in a lot of trouble going down that path too. So you have to be cautious. You can't just blindly think that either health and wellness or following the kind of advice that says, well, if you had way more time and money than you knew what to do with, here's what you could do with it, and and selling a product and all the rest. And I'm not against these people trying to sell products and make money. I'm saying that there's a difference and that you can. It's an important distinction to know between buying something, some kind of solution that's just for everybody, and then having a medical system that helps you distinguish exactly what you're trying to achieve, and that what you're trying to achieve is based on a certain set of conditions, a certain set of symptoms, a medical illness that we can either get a diagnosis of from our doctor or that we can also have our own criteria for understanding. And so the system that I teach in the Nix Institute and in the Pivot Protocol and in all of my materials is a medical system based on professional parameters. And here's the important step that makes it a professional medical system. Now, I know that you could hear that and think, well, that's, first of all, it's very pretentious. Actually, no, it's not, and you'll understand exactly why this matters in just a second. But you could also think, well, that sounds way too complicated. Friends, I've made this available for a 7th grade level. So if you can read at a 7th grade level, and I'm guessing most people watching this could probably figure out how to read something at a 7th grade level, you can make sense of everything that I've put together. And that's great, because at some point in your life, everybody's life, you're going to be dealing with some kind of illness. Usually a chronic illness. I mean, this is part of what the aging process entails. Aging is a chronic condition. You're chronically getting older, and certain problems are bound to occur. Now, fortunately, in this medical system, we know what a lot of those problems are, and we certainly know how to recognize various of them that are likely to affect you, that will affect everybody, and you can figure out what those are and do something about them. The important step that makes a professional medical system is what's called pathophysiology. So when I say logical steps and a logical step-by-step system, what I mean is this. You, for instance, go to your doctor or you figure out on your own, I have these symptoms. And then pathophysiology patho means disease causing, or refers to something that causes disease, and physiology is the mechanism. So the disease mechanism, the pathophysiology of a condition means that we're using our medical theory, our knowledge, our logical step-by-step system, which is a theoretical, conceptual framework. And you'll understand what I mean when I explain how the four pieces to the pivot actually relate to all of this. You take that conceptual framework and you go, well, if the patient has this, then we think it could be these three possibilities. So is it this? Is it this? No, it's this one here. And then we take that and we apply the correct solution for that specific disease-causing mechanism, and we see if we were right. Now, it's not always possibly 100% right, but when you have a system, you know which step things went wrong, and so you can back up and try a different approach. That's way, way, way different than saying, hey, you should take all the supplements and herbs and all of this natural healing stuff that you can, because it's not pills, right? And that's the argument in the Fad Health and Wellness community. So when you have a logical step-by-step professional system, you have a way to figure out what's going on and why. The why part is really, really important. And this is kind of what I'm teaching you. It's not kind of what I'm teaching you. It's actually exactly the system that I'm sharing with you. Now, there's a ton of really, really fun, interesting solutions. So, like, for example, in my new Nix Institute, you have ways to deal with all kinds of common things, from fatigue to joint pain, serious arthritic pain, stuff that your doctor will never, ever, ever tell you about. And it's not just that the solutions are really cool and interesting, that these things exist, and that your doctor not only doesn't know, but wouldn't tell you if he or she did, but that you can get them and do them on your own, and that they're all safe, and that you can apply this stuff, and that it actually works to reduce your symptoms and reverse, address the root mechanism of your pathomechanism that's giving rise to your specific problem. Okay? So the problem on this side with the Fad Health and Wellness people is that it creates a weird kind of neuroses. Now, again, I'm already saying that by and large, people who are really, really into that industry are, of course, they're very, very, they have a lot of time and money on their hands, and you kind of have to if you're going to be that into health and wellness. And most people have jobs and family and other things to do, but if you're young and fit and starting out in life and you don't have that much else going on and you just want to be focused on your health, you can get into a weird mindset, and I've seen this with people, and I experienced it myself as I was studying, but I moved through this stage because it didn't make sense to me. People start thinking like this, and you'll recognize this. Some of you will recognize this. You go, I'm not sure I got enough of my vitamin A, my vitamin C. I don't think I got enough vitamin D. And you create this checklist, and it's like, oh my God, I think I'm probably short on amino acids. And so did I get my arginine today, or do I have enough lysine? I probably don't have enough lysine. That's it. That's what's causing my symptoms. But there's no connection. There's no actual understanding of what's causing what. So you just get more and more and more neurotic as the list of things that you think you need to eat or take as a supplement gets longer and longer and longer. And believe me, this is a type of mental illness, because I have people write me emails and they tell me literally 18 different supplements that they're on, and they can't understand why they can't get rid of their acid reflux. It's like, but all of those supplements are good, right? Should I be taking all of those? It's like, no, you should stop taking all of them right now. And let's start there. Don't take anything and see what your body actually has to say. Because if you think supplements can't also cause illness, you don't know anything about medicine or the human body. And there's a presumption on the Fad Health and Wellness side that that's not true, and that actually taking all the supplements you can get is good for you, and that that's the right way to be. And it creates this incredible neuroses about not getting the right things from your laundry list of things that you're supposed to get. And you just keep taking more and more and adding more and more, thinking that that's going to somehow make you well if you just find the next supplement. And it's not true. It's actually the opposite is true. Supplements can make you perfectly sick. And they're not better just because they're supplements or that they're not pills from your doctor. That's nonsense. That's another bad misunderstanding among the health and wellness crowd. Okay? In a professional medical system, we take or we do something based on specific criteria that leads us to an understanding of what the pathophysiology of your condition actually might be, and then we take something as a solution to that pathophysiology, and we test it, and we see if we're right. And these things are very safe, and it's very controlled, and we know exactly what we're doing to try to reverse the mechanism that underneath that has gone out of balance. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. There's a big difference between, on the one hand, like blindfolded dart throwing, to hope that you get the right nutrition and supplements and you worry yourself sick about being well, which is what a lot of health and wellness people do, and somebody who has a chronic condition, which every one of us is going to have at some point, if for no other reason than simply because of the aging process and what happens as you age, and having a system that teaches you how to counteract your exact symptoms. That's a that's a massive chasm between those two. Picture the Grand Canyon being between those two, with one on one side and the other on the other side. They're not the same thing even a little bit. Okay? And the approach does matter, especially when you're dealing with something that's chronic in nature. You have to have a system, or else you will keep going around in circles. And what happens if you're into health and wellness and you think that that's going to make you well, you actually get so frustrated you give up, and you end up worse off than before because now you're in despair. And you don't know what to do about it, and you thought you were doing the right thing, and you just made yourself worse and worse. And plus, it costs a lot of money to live that way. You're buying tons and tons of natural healing, and nothing's working. And I get emails from people all the time, oh my God, I've spent thousands of dollars, and I can't do anything else. I'm out of money from trying to make myself well, and I just keep getting sicker. I got another email like that today as I'm filming this. Okay? So this is crucial to your understanding. I just want to make that part clear in this video. In the Nix Institute, you're going to learn an entire system from floor to ceiling. Everything I learned across 20 years that I could pack into a single website. I put it all together in a membership. You can join for less than $20. You can get a good test drive of it and find out what I learned across 20 years. I can't imagine why anybody interested in making their life better and fixing their health wouldn't try this out for that little money. And you get access to all of the same material. There's nothing held back. If you want to join as a lifetime member, we'll have that option available too, which saves you some money in the long term. The Pivot Protocol, the single best system that I know of, because I couldn't find it anywhere else, I had to go out and create it, for regular people to heal their digestive system. And your pivot is more than just digestion. Your pivot is very closely tied to all of your self-healing systems, your immune system, your sleep cycle, of course your nervous system, and all of the various things that make up what keeps you well and allows you to keep going and live a very long, healthy, energetic, disease-free kind of life, decade after decade. I was sick almost 20 years ago. I actually feel better at age 49 than I did when I was in my late 20s and when I was just coming down with digestive illness. That's a remarkable thing to say. I actually feel better every year as I age. I mean, still, I really haven't hit the peak yet. Things are still getting better for me. And I went through about a 10-year period where I was just miserable. And now, having gone through that and coming out the other side, I'm teaching that all to everybody who wants to know it. So it's very worthwhile for you. And if you're not a student of the Pivot Protocol, I have more to teach in these videos, but a lot of it is based on some of the understanding, some of the things that I'm talking about. So that's enough for this video. I'll come back in another short video, and I'm going to teach you, some other things about your liver and how the organs influence each other and come back together. I really enjoy the teaching part, so I get carried away because to me it's about the most noble thing that I've figured out how to do with my life. And so while it's true, I'm trying to make a living like everybody else, I hope you take advantage of these free videos, and anything that I can't cover here, I hope you just go ahead and join, become a member, learn the basics of this system, learn how to fix your digestion, learn how to get rid of your digestive systems. It's the single best thing you can do for your health and longevity. And if you want to join me in the Nix Institute, it costs you almost no money to find out what that's all about. And you'll see links for both of these programs below this video. And I'll come back and teach you again for free in another video. Thanks so much.